Hello friends, welcome to the Double Cut. I'm Micah Woods. In this episode, we will discuss top dressing sand particle sizes and specifically mower pickup, or what changes in the sand as it goes from what's in the top dressing sand to what actually ends up in the green. This is a topic that we all are aware of. We've seen it happen before where we top dress and then we mow and there is sand in the baskets. We collect some of that sand with the grass clippings. And I realized I've got some data that can shed some light on what actually happens. And this is something that you can check at your facility. And I want to show you with an analysis that I did last weekend, what is normal, what normally happens in the change in particle size fractions from what's in the top dressing sand to what actually ends up in the green. I'm going to show a chart now that's on the Pace Turf website in the Pace Turf gallery. And this is an image that I will put a direct link to in the show notes. It has a title, Particle Size Change from Top Dressing to OM2. I'm going to bring this up on the screen. For those of you watching, you will be able to see what I'm looking at. And it's a very simple chart and a very interesting one. So for those of you listening, please just follow along and listen to what I say and I will explain it. And this is the kind of chart that's fun to look at, but you certainly don't need to gain any insight. It's showing the percentage of a particular sand fraction that has gone missing or that has increased, like what the relative change is from your top dressing sand to what ends up in the OM2 layer. By OM2 layer, I mean the top 2 centimeters of the root zone, the very surface layer of the root zone. Now let's take a step back and let me explain where these data come from. I think most of you listening to this are aware of total organic material by depth testing, what the USGA calls organic matter testing. I much prefer to call it total organic material to differentiate it from soil organic matter, or just to keep it simple, I call it OM246. Around the world, it's usually referred to as organic matter testing, but again, if we call it organic matter, we're running a very fine line about people understanding what we're talking about or not, and I think it makes sense to be really clear about this. Soil organic matter is one very well-defined thing, and this is not soil organic matter. And so I don't think we should call it that. I like to say OM246, which is pretty clear what we're talking about, or call it specifically total organic material. Anyway, when you do that test, you are taking a sample to a 2 centimeter depth. You're going from the soil surface down to a 2 centimeter depth. That sample goes to a laboratory, and the organic material in that sample is incinerated. It is burned, and it turns to ash. And so we no longer have any organic material. We have a little bit of ash, and we can then remove that ash and look only at the remaining mineral matter. The mineral matter now is going to be any gravel, sand, silt, or clay that is in the sample. Actually, we're going to end up rinsing away the silt and clay too, but we can recover those by subtraction. So we can figure out what those were. So the organic material has been removed, and we now have sand particle sizes in a sample, and we can pass those through a sieve and do a particle size analysis, pass it through a stack of sieves, so we can look at a sieve with a 2 millimeter space, and anything that sits on that sieve is going to be considered gravel. And we can then have the next sieve below that will have a 1 millimeter space. So that 1 millimeter sieve, anything that sits on that is going to be very coarse sand. And then we go down to a 0.5 millimeter sieve. That's going to be coarse sand that sits on that. And then from 0.5 down to 0.25 millimeters, whatever sits on the 0.25 millimeter sieve, that will be medium sand, and so on. And it goes all the way down to the very smallest sand size, which is very fine sand at 0.05 millimeters. And anything below that is going to be silt or clay. So because I have data on top dressing sands from different golf courses, and because I also have OM2 data, the total organic material, and specifically then the particle size analysis data for that 0 to 2 centimeter depth for many of those same golf courses, I thought, wouldn't it be interesting to check this, and for each one of those sand fractions, for the very coarse sand fraction, for the coarse sand fraction, for the medium sand fraction, for the fine sand fraction, and so on, wouldn't it be interesting to check what those are in the top dressing sand for that facility, and then check what is that same sand fraction, what percentage of the total material composition is that in the 0 to 2 centimeter layer. So I did that, and I checked it, and I calculated what the average was using a statistical model. I calculated what the average value was for 15 different golf courses. And I deliberately omitted, I have more golf courses than that in my database, but I deliberately omitted ones that I know are using different sand types over the course of the year. So they may be using a finer sand for in-season top dressing, and when they punch holes, they may be using a coarser sand. So they're using two different types of sand, and that doesn't really work to make the calculation that I wanted to make. I'm trying to figure out, if you just use one type of sand, what ends up in your 0 to 2 centimeter depth layer right at the surface of the green. So here we go. That's what this chart is showing. The chart has going up and down. It starts at fine gravel at the top, and it goes all the way down to silt and clay at the bottom. So it has a number of lines. It goes fine gravel, very coarse sand, medium sand, fine sand. This is moving down the vertical axis. Then two different fractions of very fine sand. The larger very fine sand, which is between 0.1 and 0.15 millimeters in diameter, and then the finer fraction of the very fine sand, which goes from 0.05 millimeters up to 0.1 millimeters in diameter. That's very fine material. And then across the horizontal axis, it's showing what the ratio is from the OM2 layer, right, the top 2 centimeters of the root zone, what that ratio is from the OM2 layer to the top dressing sand. And that ranges from 0.25 times up to more than double. And I will explain this perhaps easier just in percentages. So if we start at the top for fine gravel, if your top dressing sand has some fine gravel in it, and that means it's particles that are 2 millimeters or above, on average, your OM2 layer is going to have 70% less of that fine gravel. So you typically would see a 70% reduction in the amount of fine gravel that you have from top dressing to what ends up in the green. If you look at very coarse sand, that's sand that's between 1 and 2 millimeters in diameter, you typically are going to see a 40% reduction. So if no matter what amount of very coarse sand you have in your top dressing material, what actually ends up in the upper root zone is generally going to be 40% lower. Your coarse sand, which is from 0.5 millimeters up to 1 millimeter, you're typically going to see a 20% reduction. The OM2 layer would be 20% lower than whatever your top dressing sand percentage of coarse sand is. So we're talking about we are talking about what percentage of a material, what percentage of a fraction you would have in your top dressing sand. So let's stick with this coarse sand example. So let's say that you have 10% coarse sand in your top dressing. We would expect that what we would find in the upper root zone would be 20% lower than that. So we'd have about 8% coarse sand. If you're using a 10% coarse sand as a top dressing material, we would expect to find that at about 8% in the upper root zone. Medium sand is pretty close to zero, no change. So the medium sand that you put down, it's pretty much staying the same in what you find in the root zone. This analysis found that the root zone tends to have 3% more medium sand than what you found in the top dressing material. And then it starts increasing. So for fine sand, we go up 31%. For very fine sand at the coarser end, which is from 0.1 up to 0.15, we go up 57%. So we would expect that your fine sand is going to be 31% higher in the root zone than what you have in the top dressing material. The very fine sand is 57% higher. That's the 0.1 to 0.15 material. But you get to the really fine sand, which is 0.05 to 0.1. That is going to be about double in the upper root zone compared to what it is in the top dressing sand. That is a 102% increase on average. And then silt and clay typically are going to be 127% higher in the root zone, in the upper root zone, than they are in the top dressing sand itself. These are on a per particle size basis. So keep in mind that if you're starting with like 3% silt and clay in your top dressing material, if that goes up by, no, that's a bad example. That's a bad example. And let's say that your top dressing sand has like 0.7% silt and clay. That's a more normal amount of silt and clay in a top dressing material. So let's say that you're at 0.7 in your top dressing material. This analysis suggests that on average, you would go up by 127% when you look at how much silt and clay is in the 0 to 2 centimeter layer of the root zone. So if we were at 0.7, we're now going to go up to something like 1.5% or 1.6% silt and clay in the 0 to 2 centimeter layer. So it's not that your silt and clay goes from nothing to 120 to 100% and with nothing else there. It's within that particular particle size fraction, how does it change? And I think that this is really interesting when you look at the chart itself, and I hope many of you will follow the link, or maybe you've seen this already at the Pace Turf Gallery, but you can also follow the link in the show notes and see this. It just moves from a decrease from top dressing to what you find in the upper root zone for the coarser materials, and then it goes and moves to an increase in percentages as you move towards the finer materials. And that's really no surprise at all, because we know that the coarser materials are just not going to work their way into a putting green root zone at modern heights of cut. So even though a 1 millimeter particle you would expect could easily fit into something that's mown at 2 millimeters or 3 millimeters or 4 millimeters, which might be some typical heights of cut on different grass species. Maybe some of that makes its way in, but as a regular top dressing, those larger particles do tend to get picked up. So this is something that's been researched a little bit. There's a few research articles about it. I just thought it's interesting to look at this real world data and see how things tend to change across multiple facilities, not just on research plots, but on putting greens that are maintained for daily play, and looking at how this changes. I also looked at this in a slightly different way. The slightly different way that I looked at this was looking at the absolute amounts that have changed. So what I've just explained to you is the relative difference. So let's take the fine sand, for example. The fine sand, it's 31% higher in the upper root zone than it is in the top dressing sand, meaning the fine sand has gone up by 31% compared to what it was. It's gone up by 31% in the root zone compared to what it was in the top dressing sand. The absolute numbers, I also have those. In that case, in general, we have a total decrease in coarse materials of about 8% and a total increase in fine materials. It has to match because all of the particle sizes need to sum to 100%. The fine materials go up by about 8%. So in general, when you are applying a top dressing sand, you can expect that anything that is coarse, very coarse, and fine gravel, that those fractions combined. So anything that's 0.5 millimeter or higher, anything that's 0.5 millimeters or larger, you can expect those to go down by about 8%. You're going to lose about 8% of that material, and then that means that your fine material is going to go up by about 8%. So those are absolute values, which maybe I will explain it that way also sometimes also. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I think this is interesting to see that there's just this systematic change from your top dressing material to what actually ends up in the root zone. It's not that huge of a difference. That we're really only losing about 8% of the coarser material, and then that means that the material that you have there ends up being about 8% finer. So anything that's 0.5 millimeters and below, that entire fraction of your top dressing material, that is going to tend to go up by about 8%. That's everything combined that's smaller than 0.5 millimeters. And anything that's larger than 0.5 millimeters, that's typically going to go down by about 8%. Interesting. Maybe not intuitive the first time you hear about it. If not, have a look at the chart. Write me, let me know if you have any questions. Tell me that I've got it all wrong. I'd be interested to hear more about it. But these numbers seem to be pretty robust considering it came from a wide range of top dressing materials and a wide range of grass types and management practices. All right. I will be back again soon with more interesting turf grass information. Thank you all for listening, for watching. I promise to be back again soon. For now, I will sign off from beautiful Trong in southern Thailand. I'm Micah Woods. Bye-bye.